Hi guys, my name's Sam. This is the Potager podcast, and I'm coming to you from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where I live. If you want to find me on Instagram, you can find me at Potager, and that link will be down in the description, as well as anything else that I chat about today. I have a couple announcements before we get into the knitting, and I'm going to try to make this a one-shot one, so I am going to be as concise as possible and don't do the rambling. So thank you to everybody who participated in my D-stash, either by sharing or by bidding or by ultimately purchasing things. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I was really glad to get some things out of my stash. And I was able to donate money to the LGBT Center, and they do a lot of great stuff in our area and are run by some really nice people, so I'm glad to have been able to support the other LGBT people in my area. Big announcement. So starting in November, I want to run a craft along for seasonal and holiday decor. And yeah, I'm gonna get some prizes together, and I think I'll be running it on Instagram, but I also want to run it on Discord. So I actually created a Discord for this podcast. It is called the Potager Knits Garden Party. And I'm gonna put that link down in the description. It is a permanent link, so you should be able to join that, no problem. It won't be a requirement for the craft along. It's just a way that we can chat about it, do some chatter around it, share some patterns, and then I'll have a finished objects thread in there, and also I'll have a hashtag. I'll announce that when I fully announce everything about the knit along, or not the knit along, the craft along. It's okay, you can do whatever craft you want, because I know everyone's been trying new stuff because they're, stuck at home a lot more. So yeah, I kind of wanted to run that along with my whole thing where I do the ornaments for my Christmas tree, or for my candle nights tree, as I often say, because it's just a fun thing. It'd be more fun if everybody else made some ornaments and decorations with me. So yeah, it'll be kind of a casual thing, but I am going to get some prizes together for that. So yeah, and if you're interested in donating a prize, no pressure, but if you are, just let me know, and I will get in contact with me. That's what I'm trying to say. Get in contact with me. But otherwise, I'll just be finding some cool stuff as I go along to add to my little pool of prizes. Anyway, yeah, join the Discord. I also plan on doing some other stuff with the Discord other than just general craft chatter. I think I might run some afternoon knit along time, craft room time. I know a lot of people that run kind of later night ones, but not as many afternoon ones, and that's when I have a lot more time during the week, so I thought, hey, I can run my own. So yeah, look out for that. And also, my last announcement is I will be in some way, shape, or form participating in Vlogoween. I'm not entirely sure exactly what that's going to look like at this point. I have some ideas, but I don't know. But that will be a lot of my October, so look forward to some very interesting videos from me. I'm not sure how well that's gonna go over. I have some stuff that I'm doing on the weekends, but it still is largely me sitting at home working most of the days, but I'm gonna see what kind of interesting things I can get into to, have a fun, spooky month. So, yeah, Vlogoween. Alright, let's actually talk about some, craft stuff. I have a mere one finished object this week. So I finished this a couple weeks ago, actually, but I haven't filmed a podcast in a few weeks. And it is my Sicky shawl. So this is the Sicky shawl by Dawn Henderson. I believe it's a free pattern. I will link down to her on Instagram. I started this a while back, so I don't know if this is available off of Ravelry, but I will at least link you to her Instagram. And the yarn was a gift. It is Earth Unique Fingering, and it's this really beautiful rainbowy color. But it's kind of a darker rainbowy color, so I really enjoyed working with it. And I used about 1.5 skeins of the Earth Unique Fingering for this. I had a whole half of a skein left, but I'm really bad at estimating how much yarn it's gonna take for the last few rows, and also the pattern said to wait until you had about 50 grams left of yarn, and that's about what I did. I think I had less, actually. So this is just a big boy. It's bigger than my arm, my wingspan. And yeah, I really enjoyed knitting it. It was very calming and repetitive, which I kind of needed. But boy, did those long rows drag on. But yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this. It's a twisted rib situation. I very, very aggressively blocked this to get it to this size. Because it was ribbed, you know, it was all pretty scrunched up. So when I aggressively blocked it, it ended up looking quite nice. And I also like, because of the colorway being so variegated, you can see some very interesting pooling things happened in it. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've been wearing it with my little cuff that came from Willa Tomboy Femme bags. It's one of those little like double wraparound thin ones. I've shown this before. This has been super, super helpful because I've gotten so much more into shawl knitting, and it's nice to have a nice shawl cuff to wear them with. Also, this has teeny tiny tassels, and they're so cute. I put them spaced out along the edge, so there's just lots of little teeny tiny tassels. Yeah, and it's pretty thin though. It's pretty light and airy, despite being so large. So yeah, I'm looking forward to wearing this a lot more this fall, as it's been finally getting cooler. Alright, so that's my only FO. I've been working on a lot of projects, but I just haven't been finishing a lot of projects. I'm still trying to kind of push through the pipeline of like finishing things and not starting as many things, but I have started a few things. So what are we gonna look at first? Let's do embroidery first. So I have gotten a lot more into, not embroidery, cross stitch. I've gotten a lot more into cross stitch. And I know I showed this last week, a few weeks ago, last podcast, I showed this, and this is from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and it is the We Love National Parks one. Like, they did it for the 100-year National Park anniversary. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so I finished this is the Grand Canyon. I still need to do some stitching, like the words, but it's all good. And then I started the next one. I don't remember what park it was because I haven't worked on this in a couple weeks, but yeah, super nice. I'm glad that I picked this kind of like brown color too, because I think it looks really nice with the colors of the pattern. So yeah, I'll be jumping back into this then, but the reason, I want a sip of my cider. I got myself some apple cider because it's autumn. But the reason why I stopped working on that was to work on this. I'm knocking things down all over the place. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, you can see my little progress keeper. But yeah, so part of my whole like Halloween vlogoween thing is that I am going to be working on this, which is the Stitch Along from Stitch On Me, I believe. They do a Halloween Stitch Along. So I am doing the whole frame bit right now. I think I'm halfway done. I still have the other chunk. But it's so cute. There's little bats and stuff. So yeah, every day there'll just be a new panel to fill this in. I have a whole thing full of my DMC colors already, so they're all ready to go. But yeah, and I really like this color, this like oatmeal color fabric. This is really cheap knockoff Aida 14 count though, and I hate it. But I didn't really want to waste it, and I didn't really want to have to go to the craft store to buy more because it's been actually kind of hard to find any sort of cross-stitching fabric, at least at my local stores. So I'm just going to deal with this and use this, but never buy it again. It's the Michaels brand, like Loops and Threads brand Aida fabric, and it is scratchy and crappy, and I don't like it, and it's only a couple bucks cheaper and not worth that. So, yeah. I'll stick to the real stuff. I'll pay a little bit extra for the real stuff next time. But yeah, that's my Halloween stitching. I've been really enjoying doing this and my Halloween socks that I've been knitting while listening to the Magnus Archives, which is a podcast, like what is the word that I'm looking for? It's a podcast. A story podcast. audio drama. That's the word that I was looking for. It's horror based though, and it's really freaky. I actually have a list of content warnings up that I keep up for myself and my personal reference while I'm listening to it. But if you don't mind going through that to like check to make sure you're going to be okay listening to an episode, oh man, it's so good. It really gets me sometimes. There's stuff about mannequins especially, and I am not good with mannequins. They freak me out, like the whole like uncanny valley human like things really yeah. So but I've been enjoying that. It's been really getting me in the mood for like the Halloween stuff. So I'll be looking forward to, I need to get this done. Oh, sorry, my bangs got all goofed because I keep touching them. I'll be looking forward to getting this done in the next couple days so that it is ready for Thursday when the first dude will come out. This one will come out. What a fun project. So next, let's talk about some socks. So that's really all I've been knitting is socks. I cast on, I know, right? I cast on. What did I say I wasn't going to do? Cast on, but I'm casting. I cast on these. This is the Alwyn Sultan fiber. This is Sultan's first batch of self-striping yarn that he sold at Die Hard Yarns. This is the Die Hard colorway. I absolutely adore it. It's a really plush 2-ply yarn. Here's my cake. I was also very happy when I caked up this yarn because it was a very satisfying cake. Like, it came out perfectly, and that like is good. That bodes well for these socks. You know what I mean? Good vibes. Good vibes go into these socks. But yeah, I really love this colorway. It's kind of Halloween-y because it's got like the green and orange and yellow and purple and like the dark blue. I don't know. It looks very Halloween-y to me. These feel like witchy socks. So I will be knitting these throughout the spooky season. And I like that the blue stripe is a little bit bigger because it's a really pretty color blue. So yeah, I needed a sock that I could take with me because I didn't have any like vanilla knitting to take with me anywhere on car trips and stuff. So that was my solution. So glad that I cast that on now. And then my other spooky season knitting, apologies. So this is my other spooky season knitting. This is a long tale of woe. So I am knitting the Bone Dancer socks by Hawari Bazaar Co. And the yarn that I'm using, the one is the white ball that I have. I don't remember what it was, but the rest is Black Sheep Dye Works. I have a smorgasbord of little balls here. So I finished the first sock, and this took me, like, the reason why I have only one finished object is because of this sock. It has sucked all of the crafting energy out of me. It has nothing to do with the pattern, it has everything to do with my inability to do color work. Yeah, I knit probably all the way up to here in the medium size, which is 60 stitches, which I thought was going to be fine because this was knit on size 1.5 needles. And then I tried to put them on and I could not get my foot into them. So I went back to here and still couldn't figure it out. And then I went back to here and re-knit some stuff and I still couldn't figure it out. So then I went all the way back to the toe, added the extra increases to get to the 66 stitch count, which is a large size, and now I can wear my socks. Yeah. What a tale of woe. But once I got it figured out, like, this is a very fun pattern to knit. Honestly, if I was not so excited about the pattern, I probably wouldn't have ended up finishing them, and I would have just ditched it and, like, called it a day. But I was so excited about these socks that I had to finish them. I did make them a tad bit shorter. That was my intention from the start because that's the height that I like my socks to be at. But yeah, look at these little bone guys. I was gonna say boners. That's not it. But I definitely, you can tell that it's not perfect, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit more confident in my color work, and it's just going to get better as I keep working on projects like this. I've never done a sock that has the, like, panel on the bottom. I don't know, the panel. you know, a panel. It's very plush and squishy, so that'll be cool. And I used my little leaf stitch marker. So cute. Yeah, so I am almost done with the second sock. I am just about to hit the part where I add the bones on, and then I'll have a pair of spooky socks. So I am entering this into the spoopy knit along, and we'll then move on to my next spoopy project. So glad that I worked on those, though. They're turning out really cool. Next, for some spinning. I haven't been spinning a whole lot either because I've been so focused on finishing knitting projects, but I did decide to work on this because I got some other fiber that I want to work on, and I'll show that when I get to that time when I'm actually working on it, but for now it will be a surprise. I got some, you know, de-stash. I de-stashed and then I bought from someone else's de-stash. That's how it goes. Yeah, so this fiber is from Malia Made It. I bought it on a de-stash a few months ago. And I don't remember if it had a colorway name. It might not have, but I spun all the singles up already on my electric eel wheel. Honestly, one of my best purchases. Did I buy that this year? That might have been from this year. Pretty sure I bought this year. Absolutely wonderful purchase. Highly recommend. I bought the newer one, and I've been having a blast with having a spinning wheel because I can't afford an actual spinning wheel at this point, nor do I have, well, I mean, I guess like I could make space if I found like a really good deal on one, but I can't afford a brand new spinning wheel right now. So this has given me the ability to have a fairly inexpensive entry-level spinning wheel. You know, it's an electric wheel, it's small, it's portable, I can take it places if I need to, and it also just like, it gives me the ability to do this, which I wouldn't have been able to do this otherwise. I don't mind drop spindle spinning, but this really gives me more production. Like, I can get faster production than I could with just drop spindle spinning, and it's small enough that I can store it in my tiny apartment without taking up a lot of space. It fits right into my thing. And that's my advert for the electric eel wheel nano, but honestly, I am so happy that I purchased it. Anyway, so I've been working on spinning up this fiber, and I just started plying it last night. I needed a break from all my spooky knitting, so that's what it's looking like. Originally I was gonna try to do a 3-ply because I don't really do like traditional 2 and 3-ply that much with my yarn. You can actually see most of my hand spun yarn right here, all my big quantities. What I've been doing mostly is chain ply, which is what this is. But I was like, oh, maybe I'll try to see if I can 3-ply it, and it just, not this yarn. Part of the problem, I think, is because it's such a variegated, like pastel-y type yarn, it just kind of turned into pastel barf, and I wasn't feeling it. So yeah, I went with the chain ply, and I think that's turning out a lot nicer. It's really cute. So I have a little bit left because since I was going to do the 3-ply, I had this weird little amount left. I'm going to spin that up as well and just fill up I usually fill this entire thing up like almost to the tip, huge, of yarn before I wind it off. So yeah, I've been having fun with that, and I have a lot of really cool fiber that I'm looking forward to spinning, and yeah, good times. And then the last thing I want to quick talk about is my northeasterly. I haven't shown this one for a while because I haven't been working on it as frequently, which, like, I know I keep saying I want to knit on it a little bit every day, and I had gotten in a really good habit of doing that, and then I just got so focused on this other stuff that I keep forgetting. But yeah, I started another stripe, so you can see this new stripe. It's really cool, specifically because I had 2 of these where it was like a full rainbow from that yarn that I knit my wife's socks out of during sock week. So I added that whole repeat in there. This, I actually put this fiber in my de-stash because I just couldn't get into it. So this is Angora, and it's really beautiful. You can see the like purpley gray colors, totally right on my alley. But it was just not pleasing for me to spin. I think it was just too difficult for me to spin, and it took the joy out of it for me. So I saved this little bit that I had already spun up, and then I put the rest up in my de-stash. So, and there's just some other little bits and bobs, different colors and stuff. But it's really cool to have this in here because Angora is so soft, so I can like touch it. I don't know. I want this blanket to have good texture so that I can, because I like to touch, I don't know, does anyone else just like to run their hands on their blankets? So having the different textures and the different stuff will be pleasing to the touch. But yeah, so I think I do need to go back to working on this a little bit every day. I know this is now not even close to being a 1-year project since I only got this much done since December, but I do want to make steady work on this because I do want to finish it eventually. And my scrap yarn stash has started to grow. Because like anything left over from this is going to go in there. It's starting to grow and I don't want it to outgrow this bag in the jar. So yeah, definitely more work to be done there. So now I'm just going to ramble a teeny tiny bit. I'm trying to keep this podcast pretty short, but there were a couple things I wanted to talk about. So I did do the bookathon or the readathon. I guess I'm not really planning on editing this video that much, so I'm not going to put the clips in. I filmed some stuff, but honestly, it just wasn't interesting enough to warrant doing an entire video on it. I definitely could have if I wanted to, but it just was not sparking joy by any means, so I decided not to. I do have the clips if I've ever decided to like put them in something, but yeah, it just ended up being a bunch of clips of me reading, which I don't know what I really expected. I guess I was expecting to try to do a couple more things to make it more interesting, but it just didn't happen. It just really super didn't happen. But I'm glad I did it. I probably would not do it again, mostly because I like to sleep. I think I made it 22 out of the 24 hours. We woke up at midnight. So yeah, quick story. We woke up at midnight and neither of us had like any sleep. Really, not much sleep at all. And we both kind of went, nope, let's try again. So we slept 2 hours. Went through our day reading and eating. We took a couple breaks to do some cross-stitch breaks while listening to audiobooks. And then got to the end of the night. My wife was just done. She had gotten even less sleep than I did. So she went to bed. I made it until midnight. I was still reading at midnight, and then I went to bed as well. So yeah, 22 hours. I took a couple little naps in there, so it's not like I was awake straight for 22 hours straight. I don't think I would have made it if I had just stayed awake all day. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't do that again, but I would definitely do like just a day of reading again, because it was nice. You know, we just kind of spent time in each other's presence, and every once in a while we would stop reading and would talk to each other about the book that we were reading, and I had a good time. So yeah, highly recommend you do your own version of that if it's something you're interested in doing, because it was really quite nice. But yeah, I'm not gonna release that video because it was just really boring. Yeah, so I already said I was gonna do vlogoween. I don't really have much else to say about that other than like I've been like brainstorming ideas to do for it, so I'll figure it out. Whatever happens will be fun. Garden. So yeah, the garden is coming to a close. I've been like saying that for a while now, but it for sure is happening. We had 3 frost warnings this week, so it's been cold. Weird side note, because I just looked over and remembered, I raised some butterflies because, you know, who doesn't want to do a children's science project in you know, during a pandemic? But yeah, I raised some butterflies. They were black swallowtail butterflies. I have 1 more cocoon in my little enclosure, and then that's it. So that was kind of cool. I had never really watched the whole caterpillar to butterfly process before. Like, obviously I know how it works, but it's different to see it in person. So I ended up with 5 caterpillars that made it. So apparently they only have like a 5% rate of success. So I raised that group's rate by a bit because I had 7 and I only ended up with 5 cocoons. So I don't know if they like ate each other or what. Who knows? It's the circle of life. Yeah, but that was a cool little project. They were on my parsley in my garden, so I brought them inside, and I got a little thingy, one of those little butterfly enclosure things, so that I could keep an eye on them. Yeah, otherwise with the garden, I've basically just been trying to find ways to use up things, because I've been getting a lot of things at once, but not things that I necessarily want to eat that week. So I got a bunch of tomatoes towards the end. The tomatoes are completely done now, but I made salsa. I made some like sun-dried tomatoes. I dehydrated them, and I just made tomato sauce this past week. So I will have my own homemade tomato sauce to use or something. I've been doing a lot with peppers too, because I've gotten a lot of peppers. I've been dehydrating some to make pepper flakes. I made cowboy candy, which is candied jalapenos, and I put a couple other kinds of peppers in there too, just, you know, for the spice of life. What else? Pepper rings. I did some pickled peppers this week. Stuffed some jalapenos. Those are really tasty. I don't know. I've just been trying to find interesting ways to use things up. I also made blackberry jalapeno jam, which was really good. So fresh. And I actually sent some of that with my wife to take to our friend, because she works near his house. So I've been sharing things a lot too. Also eggplant. I've been getting a ton of eggplant, and I found a good recipe for baba ganoush, which I adore. So I was able to use up some of that in a way that was not just eggplant parmesan, which was really the only way I ate it most of the time before. Yeah, it's just coming to a close. It's the end of the year. That's to be expected, that it would come to the point where, you know, everything's going to be done. So I've accepted that. I've come to peace with that. I'm going there still just about once a week to kind of get the rest of the harvest. You know, I put some more stuff in the ground, but I'm not super confident that that's going to actually come up. I have some root vegetables, but I just don't think I'm going to have enough time. Like, I only have a month left in the garden before they kind of kick us out. And I don't really foresee some of this stuff at the rate that they're growing actually finishing by then. So, we'll see what we have by then. In that last week, I'll have to go through and see if I can grab anything else out. But the other problem is the garden's only open sunrise to sunset. So as the days are getting shorter, that means there's a smaller window that during the week I can go in, which, depending on how my week of work is going, means that I can't really go during the week even if I wanted to. But that's okay. I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into it anymore, just because I know that there's not much I can actually really do at this point. It's getting cold enough that the weeds aren't growing as much, so kind of just keeping the weeds back and harvesting what I can, and that's what it is. But yeah, I've been really pleased with the amount that I've gotten out of it. I think I might make a video of like what I learned in my first year with a big garden, and also maybe like about the plants that I really enjoyed growing this year that I definitely want to grow next year. I feel like that would be interesting, even just for like my own personal records. This local apple cider is so good. Yeah, so that's all for the garden. This dress that I'm wearing right now, just in general, I've been trying to buy myself nicer clothes. I actually got myself a Ren Fair dress, but I have no possible way of showing you the whole thing. But here's a sneak peek. Look at it. It's so cute. It's huge. And it's split in the front. I'm probably just going to wear leggings under it, but I need to find like a good top to wear under it on the top. But yeah, I've been doing Stitch Fix, which my wife had started doing before me. And I think I had talked about that when I talked about the wardrobe oracle thing. But I thought I would give it a try too, because I've been wanting some more clothes as well, like just some nicer clothes. I've definitely gotten out of the like buying crappy Target clothes stage in my life. Like, I want to spend a little bit more on items that I really love so that I can wear them a lot. And I want to start making my own clothes more, but I have realistically come to the conclusion that that's not going to happen in the immediate future. I'm definitely focusing more on cross stitch and knitting. So yeah, I started doing Stitch Fix. I'll put my little link down in the description if you want to try it too. I think you can get like $25 off or something like that right now with my link. But yeah, it's a cool little thing. You get a stylist and they help you with clothes, and you can do a little style quiz every day. I wasn't gonna do it originally because I'm hesitant about subscribing for subscription boxes because it can be really hard to cancel them. Like, I know I had a whole big thing with, like, Blue Apron trying to get it canceled, and I'm just very wary because of that. But this one, you don't have to schedule it to come every month. You can either schedule, like, a every month, every 3 months kind of thing, or you can say, I'll tell you when I want one. And that's what I've been doing, is I'll tell you when I want one. When I have a little bit extra money, I'll tell you when I want one. It's definitely more pricey clothing. Don't get me wrong, it's not, like, cheapo. But I get the more inexpensive items, and I've been very happy. From what I've seen, I think the lowest price for an item that I've seen is like $38. But, you know, I'm keeping in mind that, like, these are not Target clothes. You know, I'm not going to get an $8 t-shirt. Yeah. So, yeah, I got this little dress. It's cute. It's got these little, like, fluffy sleeves. I was really sad. The one pair of pants that I got in my box, I kept them, but they had an issue. So I got a refund, but I was like, man, I really wanted those pants. But yeah, their customer service has been great too. That was the only time I had a problem, and it was dealt with perfectly. So I am a happy camper. So yeah, I'll put that link down in my description as well if you're interested in trying it out. If you have questions, totally reach out to me. I will answer your questions. This isn't like a sponsored thing. I'm just sharing something that I really like. And sorry, I'm like playing with a hanger. I really like Stitch Fix, so check it out. Yeah, that's all I can really think of that I have to talk about. So I think I'm gonna go spend the rest of my evening drinking this warm beverage in my yarn mug and working on my socks. Don't knock that over. Me working on my socks and my stitching, and there's this game called Coffee Talk that I started playing that I'm really enjoying playing, and it's like the same kind of like fall vibes that I'm going for right now. So I think I'm gonna go enjoy that. But I hope you all are hanging in there and enjoying the beginning of your autumn, and yeah, I'll see you next week for the beginning of vlogoween, and hit me up on the Discord if you want to chat. So yeah, with that, I guess I will get going. So I'll see you around. Bye, guys.